It's the Unhappy Hour.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Unhappy Hour here on the TNAM radio network here at TheNewAmericanMedia.com, because the news always matters. My name's Brian Engelman. I'm your host, and we're going to talk about sports today. Specifically, we could talk about that Christmas rematch with the Cavs and that other team out west. What do they call them? Who cares? Or we could talk about the Cleveland Indians signing Edwin Encarnacion. Party at Encarnacion's. Doesn't roll off the tongue the way that Party at Napoli's did, but hey, I don't know. If you're Mike Napoli, let's see how this all plays out. It's going to be very interesting. So, without further delay, because it's the holiday weekend and we don't want to keep everybody waiting, we're going to go to our guest. This is going to be Justin Engelman. This is my cousin. He, for the record, he did interview. Corey Kluber. Well, I kept wanting to call him Cliff Lee for some reason. Oh, all those Indians pitchers with Cy Youngs, I'll tell you. But yeah, he interviewed Corey Kluber at the All-Star game. We're going to bring him back in. We want to talk about this deal and what it means for the rest of the lineup and our chances of going back to the World Series. So we'll get him on the line.
Hello.
Justin, welcome to the program. You're live, sir. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, by the way.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you.
Yay. Merry Christmas to Cleveland Indians fans. Man, this is a contract. I want you to break it down for us and kind of give us your wrap-up on what just happened, what it means for Napoli, what it means for the middle of our lineup, for our payroll, for attendance. Just break it down any direction you want, man.
Well, again, Merry Christmas to you and to your family and everyone out there listening, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Wow, what a whirlwind of events. I mean, honestly, Brian, this is a big day in Cleveland Indians history, I believe. I've said it before. I said when we went out on Yacht, Swisher, and Bourne. This is just we haven't done something like this. Even those guys were kind of middle tier players. Not even really all stars if you look at it. I think Bourne maybe made it to one or two All-Star, but not on a superstar level like in Encarnacion. The Indians, we're usually the ones that are losing these guys in free agency.
We are.
So
the Jim Thome, the Albert Bell. We could go back to CC Sabathia to the Yankees, Cliff Lee, Jim. You're right. We're usually the ones having to say goodbye, going, "Wow, we can't match that deal." But this deal wasn't $120 million. This was a different deal because of his age, right?
Exactly. And, Brian, I want you to tell me who the last 40 home run guy that the Indians went out and picked up in free agency. Only one comes to my mind in the past 20, 30 years.
David Justice.
It could be. Well, I don't even think Justice, really. I don't even know if he reached 40 home runs. And he was at the end of his career, if you look at it. I think it was Juan Gonzalez in 2001.
Okay, Juan gone, yes. He was a great pickup, too. He was a great pickup.
He was a great pickup, but if you think of it, too, he's at the end of his career. He had, a couple years left. We're getting Encarnacion, maybe not necessarily right in his prime, but, he still has at least two very good. I'm just basing – he's the most consistent power hitter out there we've seen the numbers last 4 years. The only player with 30 or more home runs for that span of time.
Okay,
so,
hey, hold on. I looked it up here. We got 41 home runs out of David Justice in 2000. But yeah, he came to Cleveland in 1997, hit 31 homers, 101 RBI, then 39 homers, 88 RBI. Injury next year, 18 and 88, then 41 and 118. That was in 2000. Okay. Then 21, 58, and then it started tailing off as he went over to the Yankees and wrapped it up in Oakland. But yeah, he was 30. He came out to the Indians at 31, played 32, 33, 34, and then he was gone at that point, 34. So how old is Edwin Encarnacion, and what should we realistically expect out of him, do you think?
Well, Edwin Encarnacion, there's a couple of things you have to think about too. I mean, he did play in Toronto, where home runs fly out of there. It's it's a dome stadium. It's a hitter-friendly park, so that might play into the colossal numbers that he put up last year. But he's a legitimate power hitter from the right-handed position, and that's what is key. That's what is needed in our lineup. We saw that with Napoli. We have a lot of left-handed hitters. We're left-handed hitter heavy. So bringing him in, what I've heard, and I think it matches up, is he fills one of the few holes that we have on our team. I mean, the proof of how many few holes we have in this team was getting to Game 7 against a superstar-filled Cubs team. I mean, that just with the two starting pitchers. Honestly, I don't even think Tomlin and Bauer are pitching in the World Series if we have Carrasco and Salazar. So, and that just shows you how the strength of our team. We're strong in every area, and that's just what's going to make us scary. The Central's rebuilding. You look down, the Twins, the White Sox, the Royals could be sellers at the trade deadline. So the Tigers, they're not. It doesn't look like they're going to have a strong year. So this could be an easy road to the back in the play. It's going to be an easy road back to the playoffs. But I put this on my Facebook and Twitter. We have business that's not finished, and I think that's with Antonetti. And sure enough, going out and making that clear. We want to fill the stands, and we're going to finish it, and we want to finish it this year. And I think that's the mission.
Yeah, on ESPN they're calling this the one of the best win now moves of the winter. By the way, going back over, I pulled up Juan Gonzalez. It looks like his max home run, he had seasons of 43, 46. That was in 92, 93. Then he had 47 in 96. 98, he had, well, anyway, I'm blurring them together, but he came to Cleveland in 2001, and he knocked out 35 and hit 140 RBIs. And then he went over to Texas, KC. I don't even remember him at KC, and then he wrapped it up in Cleveland for a game. That was, okay, it's like one game. Yeah, but you're right. Bringing up Juan Gonzalez, David Justice, there really aren't many players that we've gone out and got the big bats. We don't really go out and get the big pitchers either. Even in those 90s teams, we got Oral Hershiser, we got Dennis Martinez. These guys were very far along in their career. But looking at Edwin Encarnacion, over the last 5 seasons, he has 193 home runs. The only player with more home runs is Chris Davis of the Orioles with 197. So over the last 5 years, Edwin Encarnacion has had the most prolific home run hitting spurt other than one dude on the Orioles. So, this is very interesting. Does this mean that Napoli, he's taking his party somewhere else? Like this is a done deal, it's over? What kind of defense are we getting out of Encarnacion? He's just going to be a DH? He's not going to do anything?
I think he'll split a little time with Santana at first. That was what's kind of nice with Napoli. He had a really good glove at first base.
Yeah.
And he could take the load off. We saw a limited time of Santana at first, which he doesn't have a horrible glove, but Napoli was a lot better. We saw some flashiness of some pretty good defense out there. Encarnacion is going to be primarily DH. He can play first. And if we've seen anything and learned anything about Francona, he does like to mix it up and kind of mix it up on the opposition. So, we'll see him at DH. We'll see a little bit at first base. But, honestly, I said this last year when we talked before opening day last year, Brian. What was so big, I thought, from bringing Napoli in was how it was just going to affect Carlos Santana. And I really believe that having this padding in our lineup is really going to help Santana once again. And we're getting a younger player. We're getting a younger option. a quicker bat, probably a more clutch bat. I love Napoli. I believe he was a huge part in getting us to where we got, not just on the field but off the field. But if you look at it, he tailed off there in September. He tailed even August, the end of August, he tailed off. But when we needed him the most, I think we're just a run here, a run there, a double here from taking the World Series. And I tell you what, if we win the World Series, I'm sorry, I see Napoli coming back. It was kind of his job to lose. And I believe just from hearing from what he said about Francona, he loved playing for Terry Francona. I think he would love to be back. I mean, this is a team on the cusp of a World Series championship. Bauer puts it. Bauer put it on his Twitter account. A picture of Encarnacion celebrating, someone coming to the Indians. That's what it feels like. Well, Napoli wants to be back on this team, but in the biggest moment, he kind of let us down. I mean, one home run, I think it was in the postseason. And unfortunately, that's just the way it ended. And he's injury prone, and was he a little bit playing over his head? Well, these are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Encarnacion gives us a more consistent resume, a little younger, and someone who has playoff experience. And Napoli was strong in that area, but it's just a better option for us. And I think we're going to be really excited with it. It looked great. Honestly, it looked great when we came out. We got Miller at the trade deadline. That proved that we were buyers and that Antonetti was for real. And then coming out and getting Encarnacion, I don't know what better way you can tell Indians fans that this is a team that wants to win, not just this year, but next year, and come out and support the team. If I have anything to say about the Cleveland, come out and support the team. Let's go. Let's start another run like we saw in the 90s. Am I right or am I wrong, Brian?
You know what? And I put this out there as soon as I heard this. I said, all right, you guys better buy up these season tickets now and lock this in. We have, there's a new financial, what is it? There's a new owner joined the ownership group of the Cleveland Indians before this happened. And, we were in the bottom 4 of attendance last year. That's just not going to cut it. But, going to the World Series and selling all the tickets at that point and, going out and getting a big bat like this, I'll be very disappointed if we don't start selling that place out. Night in and night out. It's a wonderful park. It's a great competitive team, and you know what? That's what you've always complained about with the Indians. A bunch of tightwads. They're not going to go spend the money. We're a bat away from winning this. We're a pitcher away from doing this. Why aren't they pull the trigger? Now back in the 90s, they signed those players: the Ramirez, the Tomey, the Bell, the Baerga, the Lofton, signed them to long-term deals as a young player so that we had them through like that beginning peak of their career, and then we'd lose them later on. So I think our strategy is a little bit different now, but I mean, then again, we're bringing up young cats like Lindor and all these pitchers that are coming through. So I just wanted to bring up something about Mike Napoli. I'm pulling up his stats here. Do you know, I guess I didn't even really know this, his career low in home runs was in 2015 with Texas, with only 5. He only played in 35 games. His career high in home runs, 34. That was last year with the Cleveland Indians. His career high. He hit 16, 10, 20, 20, 26, 30, 24, 23, 17, 18, 13, 5, and 34. And guess what? His career high in ribbies, he had never even cracked 100 until he did it last year with the Cleveland Indians. So, right. I mean, he came into the league. He's 35 years old. Yeah, 35 years old. Encarnacion, he is
34.
Yeah, 30. Sorry, I'm trying to find it on this. 33 and a half.
33.
So, yeah, he is technically a year and a half younger, and he's been consistently better over the past 5 years than Napoli. So, on paper, that's an upgrade. What do you think about the deal? 3 years for $60 million. Do you think just most people weren't interested in signing him to a longer deal, or did he want to play with a contender? What's your gut tell you about how we got him for that? I think 3 years is great. Is it a player option on the 4th, or is it a team option? I'm a little unclear on the specifics.
It's a team. It's a team option for that 4th year. So I think the 3 years is a great deal for us. I think we got him at a great price, and I think it's great for both sides. If let's say we see a Swisher, something happen like a Swisher, which I don't see that, but let's say that does happen. There's that option for 4 years. He won 4 years guaranteed with $80 million from the Blue Jays, and they didn't want that. And that might, I don't know if that speaks volumes to me, just seeing that was his home team for the last 5 years, and just, I don't know. I think we got him at a bargain deal, and we kind of just fell in our laps. And I think it's great. It's great for the team. Go out and spend the money. We made the extra revenue with the playoffs. We're going to be back in next year. How many more season ticket sales should we see with this deal? I honestly, I think it's a great deal for us. We should be, and kudos to Chris Antonetti. I mean, he's making believers out of us all. I mean, I said it before, but I sat back and I watched Adam Miller. I sat back and I watched Andrew Miller, and I said, this guy he's a stud. When's the last time we've had a stud like this? Just come out of the bullpen. Even if you look at those 90 teams, Brian, our weakness, our Achilles heel was our starting pitching. Even in 97 was our bullpen. Mesa was at the end of his career. We had a couple firearms out there, but our pitching was our Achilles heel. And that's what we're basing our team around. So to bring a bat like this, hopefully to get a strong, healthy way back, is just going to go. It's going to pay its dividends. I think this deal really, really surpasses us over the Red Sox with the Chris sale, and I think this is bright times. Like I said before, not just this year for us, but next year, and it could build on from 2019. We have also one thing to look at too, Brian. We have a strong farm system, and we have some really bright-looking guys coming up on the cusp. So, we have a lot to look forward to, I believe, in the near future.
Yeah, and I hope Naquin can put it together. I've seen some flashes of brilliance, but I've seen other times where it's just deer in headlights. He just looks totally, where the moment looks too big for him, or he's just lost. Who knows? If you play a little bit more, sometimes the game can speed down. Slow down a little bit. The speed of it can slow down. Not everybody gets to come up like Frankie Lindor, and it's like you got it from day one. So we will have to see how that goes. By the way, I looked up Jose Mesa. He started in Baltimore in 1990, played with Toronto played with Cleveland in 92 through 97. He went and played another 10 years until 2007. I totally lost track of that. San Francisco, Seattle, Philly, Colorado, Detroit, Philadelphia, up till 2007. Go figure. But yeah, I mean, it never lived down that that moment. But I digress. Yeah, now we've seen 2 Game 7 extra inning losses out of the World Series for the Indians. But hey, look, I've said this before, and I'm really hoping it's true. 2 years ago, the Cleveland Cavaliers made it to the NBA Finals, but Kevin Love was injured, Kyrie Irving was injured, and everybody had to just run their tank on empty to see how much they could do. Last year, we lost our number 2 and number 3 starting pitchers and Michael Brantley. Maybe we can come back and get it in year 2. We'll see how it goes. I know you got to get running, so I'll just kind of wrap this up. And if you got to bounce, you just let me know, and we'll let you go immediately. But we were also mentioning off air some of the players that we may have not re-signed already, but we might. To walk us through what's left on our to-do list with the Cleveland Indians right now.
Well, I think I mentioned to you, but one guy big for me is Rajai Davis. I mean, Brian, remember that we were at an Angels game out here in Los Angeles, and I remember we had really good seats, and Davis, it was later in the game, and Davis stole third.
Yeah.
And we were just like taken back. I remember what you were saying. I think you said, "Oh my God!" Just because did I just see that? I mean, it was just like a motion, and it was unbelievable. I didn't get more impressive than anything we even saw with Kenny Lofton.
It was a thing of beauty. He's got this timed. I don't know what kind of work he's putting in to research each pitcher to learn their tendencies, but I'll tell you what, he knows it out on the field. He knows their tells. It's like a poker player. If you scratch your nose, that he's bluffing. It was so smooth. It was so fast. It was very impressive. I was kind of blown away. Exactly.
Yeah, we both were. And he brings that presence on the base pass. He brings that veteran presence. Obviously we love him for the home run in the eighth inning home run. We love him for that. But I would love for us to bring back Rajai Davis. We have Geyer coming back. Rajai Davis, honestly, if we can bring him back, I think that's the big one for me. There's a couple guys out there, but I think if we bring Rajai Davis back, I think that makes us I'm looking through this team, Brian, and I'm not seeing any holes that stand out. I'm just not seeing it. I mean, the starting pitching's our biggest strength. The bullpen, we know where the bullpen's at. You go down to the lineup. We got speed on the bases with Frankie Lindor. I think we were either second. We could have been in first. Not too sure. Just in stolen bases for the 2016 season. I think we could have been first. I know Davis had the most in the American League, but so we have speed on the bases. We have strength throughout the lineup. We're not filled with veterans or youth. We have a mixture in that, in the experience. We have a strong closer. We have power in the middle now with Encarnacion. This is just a team that we're not. We look at those Indians teams in the past. We had question marks at the top in the managing area. I think we had the best manager in baseball. That could be arguably the best with Matt. But this team is just we can do it. I think this year, honestly, Brian, and I'll end on this. I just had this feeling, and I proved it. I backed it up. I booked my flight tickets and my hotel after Game 1 of the division series. I was that confident we would make the World Series, but I just had it in the back of my mind. Can we, with how many injuries we have, can we beat the Cubs? And we get to the 3-1, and I'm thinking, man, we shouldn't even. What makes it more painful that the series loss is that we have a 3-1 lead, but it's almost like we shouldn't even have been in that position. But being at Game 1, being at Game 2, it was just, especially in Game 2, seeing the Cubs, that just it was like a giant, a David Goliath. And it was like, should we? It felt like the Cubs win was fate. It was destiny. And I think that this puts us over the Cubs. This puts us over the Mets. This puts us over the Red Sox. And I think it's ours to lose, and it's ours to gain. So let's go out and let's finish business this year.
Absolutely. I'm all right with that. It really is nice to see this team going out and getting somebody, that's just been crushing it for the past 5 years, within 4 home runs of leading the entire league over the past 5 years. That's a big, healthy bat in the middle of that lineup that could have been used for a long time. So we'll see how it plays out. Merry Christmas early for the Cleveland Indians fans. I actually just got my custom Indians jersey in the mail today, which is pretty cool. Looking forward to rocking that. But anyway, yeah, Justin, we will let you go. Thanks for joining us. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a few more free agent signings to go, and maybe who knows? We'll see what Napoli ends up doing. Maybe he'll go to Texas. Maybe he'll stay home. Who knows? Name me a better position than where the Cleveland Indians are at to say, hey, we got a chance to compete for a World Series next year. Someone toward the end of their career making money, who knows? We'll see if we pick up anybody throughout the rest of this. And, man, it's a great time to be a Cleveland sports fan, my man. So, anyhow, thanks for joining us. We will talk to you later. You have a good evening. I know you're going to check out some fun stuff on your own. So I won't delay that anymore, buddy. You take care, and we'll talk again soon, Justin.
Hey, Merry Christmas. Thanks for having me, and go Tribe.
Go Tribe. There he goes, everybody. Yeah. It's a great day. I loved seeing that this story broke yesterday. And the one thing that's really fantastic about what we do at the New American Media, here's the trick with the New American Media. The New American Media is you. You know, I don't want to do this. I don't want to run this. I want the right people to just kind of... I want the users. You are the New American Media. You know, nobody... Seriously, how much of ESPN's nonsense do you want shoved down your throat? I'm not even going to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. All the other stuff, right? At some point, you're going to start tuning out. They're hemorrhaging users. They're hemorrhaging viewers. They just are. Because they're pushing a whole bunch of other crap that you don't want to deal with. You know, and plus, you go watch some of their stuff, and it's so national. You know, that's good for some people. But people like me, some people like you out there in the listening audience, you know, who do you care about? The Blue Jackets? The Indians, the Cavs, the Browns, the Buckeyes? Maybe a few other teams? You kind of keep it local. Not everybody, but a lot of you. So, you know, when this story broke, we must have had at least 10 different correspondents for the New American Media. It's on our Facebook page. I want you guys to go search it. It's a private group. Search The Unhappy Hour Sports Radio Show. The Unhappy Hour Sports Radio Show. As long as we can verify that you're either an Indians, Cavs, Browns, or Buckeye fan, or Blue Jackets. We got a few people that are hockey fans. I'm like, hey, you're going to have to... You let us know when they won and tell us the standings and tell us the storylines, because I don't follow it. So we got some hockey people joining us. Apparently they're doing really well. So, you know, it's this really has replaced me going online or looking on ESPN for my sports news. If I want Indians, Cavs, Browns, Buckeyes, or Blue Jackets, I go to the Unhappy Hour group. So do a search, The Unhappy Hour Sports Radio Show, and submit a request. And if we can verify you are who you say you are, we'll let you into our private group. And it's pretty sweet. By the way, good luck to the two remaining people in our fantasy football double championship. That's going on right now. It's happening this week. Congrats for making it this far. Yeah, we have a double league, so you got to win your league, and then you play in a Super Bowl. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, check it out. Also subscribe, youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. We put up a question up there. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Cleveland-based as well, just had their inductees list. And our question is, does Tupac deserve to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Also, there was Journey and Joan Baez and Pearl Jam and Yes and Electric Light Orchestra and a whole bunch of people. So we have the conversation over there. We also get into politics and other things. So subscribe, youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Join us on Twitter. We're at American_media_. That's American_media_. Our regular The New American Media. It's a lot of politics if you can handle it. Search The New American Media on Facebook. And also Instagram.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. I think we got some great stuff over there. So yeah, thank you, Justin Engelman, for joining us on the program today. He's one of the biggest sports fans that I know, one of the biggest Cleveland Indians fans specifically that I know. Christmas came early for us. I think that's a pretty sweet deal. I'm pretty freaking amped about it, and I hope that you guys are too. So thanks a lot for checking out the program. It's been 5.5 years, and hopefully we got a long time more coming at you. So Brian Engelman signing out. I appreciate you. I love you. We'll talk again soon. Take care. Peace.
Hi, everybody. You're listening to Agree to Disagree with Brian Engelman, and this is John B. Wells reminding you that not only is Brian Engelman a cool guy, and not only is TheNewAmericanMedia.com a very cool platform, but here's a cool idea for you, too. Are you alone? Not really. Do you like dogs? Do you like cats? You do. Of course you do. Everybody does. One or the other, maybe even both. You know, there are a lot of dogs and cats that are at shelters right now, and if somebody doesn't take them home, they're going to wind up euthanized. That's a nice way of saying they're going to be killed because there's simply not enough room. I guarantee it, the best dogs and the best cats, the best pets come from shelters. There's something about dogs and cats. They know. They know where they are. You walk through one of them, and certainly at least one is going to look at you and go, I wish you'd take me home. I'm in hell. Please take me out of here. It'll be the best thing that you ever did. for your soul. You'll feel good about it. And not only that, but you have a friend for life. Doesn't matter if you got money, you don't have money. Well, it doesn't make any difference to a dog or cat. All they need is the sound of your voice and maybe even the stroke of your hand, and they're fine. Maybe a little food every once in a while. The sweetest sound that those pets ever hear is your voice. Think it over and adopt a cat or a dog from a local shelter today. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did.